Garrett Walston is a tight end at the University of North Carolina, a preseason top 10 ranked football team. And he's teaming up with LAA to create an awareness for suicide prevention, a campaign on behalf of his dear friend, Riley Estes, who tragically took his own life earlier this year. Head coach Mac Brown has allowed Walston to dedicate his entire season to Riley with a sticker on his helmet in Riley's memory. The goal is to raise a minimum of $1 million to donate to the Rilo Foundation and create a local and national movement. The Rilo Foundation is also known for its acronym, which stands for Reasons I Live On. It's on a mission to have an impact on anyone that might be struggling, while also honoring Riley. Please welcome my guest and my new friend, Tar Heel, Garrett Walston.
Welcome to the Unscripted podcast. My name's Corby LaCroix, and the song you're hearing right now is called Great and Mighty One, available on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your music. But for now, recording from the Unscripted studio at the Junction in Old Hilliard, here's your host and my friend, Aaron Conrad.
Great Redeemer, God of grace.
All right, everybody, welcome to Unscripted from my Junction studio. Big day today. As some of you know, I'm sort of a Carolina fan, and I've teased it a few times on the socials, but really honored to have a special guest here today of a member of the preseason top 10 North Carolina Tar Heels. I mean, you know, if I had audio, I would go ahead and put applause in there because, hey, our Tar Heels are ranked number 10, and I think that's just going to go up from here. But I'm a believer. So anyway, I had a friend once tell me not to fanboy these interviews, so I'm not going to fanboy the interview. But let my guest go ahead and introduce himself, and we will go from there.
Hello, everybody. My name is Garrett Walston, and I'm tight end at University of North Carolina.
Yeah. So and all right. So Wilmington, Carolina, right? You're from Wilmington, is that right?
Yes, sir.
How much time did you spend at Wrightsville Beach?
My entire childhood. I mean, I've lived in the same house for my entire childhood, and it's not too far from the beach. So, I spent a lot of hours there.
Now I know, and we're getting into areas. Welcome to Unscripted. This is what we do. How many times have you been to it? You're gonna have to help me. Is it Laney High School, right?
Yeah, Laney. Mm-hmm.
How many times have you been to Laney High School?
So actually, I was districted to go there, but with my mom working so close to New Hanover, they had the open enrollment plan, and plus, like as a teacher, like she was allowed to, I guess, pick or choose or whatever. So she worked right by New Hanover, so ultimately decided to go there. But I've been to Laney, I don't know, a bunch of times too.
I've been there once, and so you got to remember, Garrett, this podcast is going to land primarily in Columbus, which is, home of the Ohio State University and all that stuff. So a lot of people don't even know what Laney High School is, but most of us, those of us that bleed Carolina blue, we know what Laney High School is. And we know who went there. And so we were on vacation in Wrightsville Beach once. We drove up. I actually pulled in his house parking lot or his driveway for a minute, took a picture, and I know he doesn't live there anymore, but still, you got to say. And we peeked in the window. We couldn't get into the high school that day. But anyway, man, so Laney High School is the home of Michael Jordan. But we're not here to talk about Mike today. Just thought it was kind of interesting that you were from Wilmington. So,
Yes, sir.
all right, man, let's get into it. So the reason you're on today is I know we've joked around a little bit here at the beginning, but the reason you're on today is a serious topic. And, first let's talk about you. You're at Carolina, fifth year senior, correct?
Well, it's actually my 6th year because of COVID, but yeah, I've been here a while.
Okay. Well, it's your senior year, and it's a special year for you because you're dedicating it to a very important topic. And I think that's what we want to talk about a little bit today. So why don't you start, man? Why don't you tell the story, and let's just go back to the beginning of everything, and then we'll kind of transition into
ways that we can help, and this audience can help with something that's very near to you. And I think honestly, Garrett, man, it's near to all of us. It touches all of us. So let's just go to the beginning, man. Why don't you tell the story?
All right. So, why we're here today is to kind of spread awareness on suicide prevention. We can go with depression, mental illness, anything of that nature. This past year has been real tough for me and my family, and my brother especially, because, well, to first understand the story, like my blood related brother Blake, me, two of my other brothers that I consider my brothers, because I mean we've done everything together from when we were born to present day. I mean we've been as close as any two groups of people could ever be, and a lot of people say they're close and stuff like that, when there's a tragic event, but like if you're from Wilmington, then when you hear like the last name Walston, then you think of the Estes, because we were always together, you know what I mean? And vice versa. You hear Estes, you think of, the Walstons, because we just had such a tight relationship, their family. And so this February 7th of this year, my second little brother, Riley Stout Estes, took his life. I guess it was Saturday night. And it just kind of wrecked our entire community, because here's a kid that is just full of joy. His nickname was Smiley Riley, because everywhere he went, he was smiling. Sometimes he didn't say much, but he would just sit there and smile, and you just couldn't help but like look at him and just instantly, feel good and be glad that he was in the room. Just a very outgoing kid, just in his own way. He loved to watch TV, he loved to just chill inside, but he also loved to be adventurous, and like he loved to go fishing with me and my brother. He loved to go hunting. He just loved to be around people, and people loved to be around him. And it was just a devastating thing to happen to our community. And so why I'm here today is to spread awareness and raise money for the Rilo Foundation, which is a foundation set up in his name. And Rilo was his nickname, is what a lot of people called him. It's what we called him. And the Rilo Foundation actually stands for Reasons to Live On. I'm here to spread awareness, so other people don't have to go through, kind of what we had to go through, in other communities.
Well, it's awesome. What you're doing is awesome. The topic is difficult, and I thought about this all day today, because in the past 18 months, I think I went through something similar with a friend, and thankfully we were able to not have the outcome that unfortunately Riley had, but at the same time it happened. And man, it's tough. And I think one of the things that scared me the most with COVID and being home and all that was because I have 3 kids, two now in college and 1 in high school. And the thing that worried me most was honestly, and all due respect to anybody that's lost someone in COVID, but my concern for them was not so much COVID, it was the mental health of what they're going to deal with. And so I think this is a topic that is going to continue to be on everyone's mind. And so I'm thankful that you, as hard as this has to be for you, that you will take the time to bring awareness to that. Can you talk a little bit about the Rilo Foundation and what that means and what it's about?
So I kind of mentioned it previously, but it's just to help, spread awareness and prevent, tragedies like that to happen in other communities and for other families. So the donations are going to go to his foundation, and his dad is in charge of that, and he's going to, spread that where it needs to go. And his family is just, are literally like my second parents. I mean, if anything were to happen in my family, I know who I'd be going to live with.
Right.
It would be them too. And so that's what the Rilo Foundation's for. I really don't. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think it's important, and I'll say it again, reason I live on. I really like, the way that you all have tied that in to both his nickname and giving it purpose, because we all do have reasons to live on, and so I think that's important, and I really appreciate that. And you've got some people behind you already, right? So LAA, can we talk a little bit about LAA? And I think this ties into the NIL, which the new things that have come on now this year, which that's kind of the Wild West for all sports,
Right.
for the NCAA, but I know LAA is really getting behind you guys as well. Can you talk a little bit about LAA?
Yeah, so LAA is a marketing and sports agency. They represent big time guys in the NFL like J.K. Dobbins, Dalvin Cook, and they've recently branched out to the college world because of the new name, image, and likeness rules, which kind of allows athletes to be paid or compensated for deals with companies or whatnot. But LAA has done a great job in setting this whole thing up because Garrett, who's kind of the guy that represents me with LAA, he's actually related. It's funny how it turned out, but he's actually related. He's like he's actually a nephew of Riley's dad. So it kind of hits on a whole nother personal level when, the person that's representing you is just as adamant about this happening and like spreading awareness as you are, because he's also been affected because of, a family member.
Right.
So Garrett's been great. I mean, he set up this with you, and he's pitched to a bunch of companies about it, just raising awareness. And they've done a great job, and I couldn't be, more pumped to have, signed with them and get this thing rolling.
I think we see stories all the time. There's obviously the one out of Alabama where, a kid that hasn't even taken a snap yet in an official game has made over $1 million. And I think a lot of us, are trying to get our head around what the NIL is. And this is something that has to feel pretty good for us, that it's not just about cash. And I'm not against players getting paid. I mean, that's a whole nother podcast for another day. But
right.
the fact that a team has come behind you in something that is so important and dear to your heart, and is rallying with you and helping you, that means something. So shout out to those guys, because that's pretty special that relationship exists. And like you said, it is personal. It's not just a client, and a relationship is much more in this and what you guys are doing. So that is awesome. I know we're going to say this again before we get off, and I'm going to have all the links in this post for people to go find them. But what's the way? So if I'm driving down the road today, how can I help? How can I get behind this?
So we have a website set up, and I'm actually about to pull it up.
And I know there's an email address as well with LAA, right? I can pull it up too, because I know they sent it to both of us.
Yeah. So, donations can be directly sent to the Rilo Foundation. We also have a website where you can donate on there as well through, I think it's GoFundMe. LAA is also a part in it. You can contact my guy Garrett at ge@laasports.com.
Mm-hmm.
And that we accept, checks, whatever. And anything helps. Because this is not going, this is going somewhere to help prevent something like that to happen in maybe your community. You don't know,
Right.
So, you can donate through either one of those. And yeah, I mean, if anybody wanted to hit me up, via Instagram DMs, I'd be more than glad to put you in touch with who you can donate to. So like, this is all going to a great cause. This isn't going to like, anything else. So.
Right. And I'll have all the links as well. And I will continue to
Yeah.
share those on all the socials. That's why we're doing this interview today. Not because I'm a Carolina fan, which we'll get into it. We got to get into it before I get up. But
Yeah,
in all
for sure.
seriousness, I'll have all the links because it is important. It's important to me too. And I know there's another group that has reached out that I think is going to do something for you. And I'm not sure it's buttoned up yet, but I know they've talked about donating every time you make a touchdown this year. And so I would like to offer something similar, and I'm working with partners here. Now you got to remember, man, I'm in Buckeye territory. So, it's a tougher sell for me to go out and especially because, hey, Carolina might be on the other side of that Final Four this year,
Right.
Against the Ohio State University. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I think they could be there. So, it's a tougher sell for me. But all that to say, man, I am working real hard on your behalf here because I want to make the same kind of offer, man. I want Unscripted to do something every time you get a touchdown to support you in this cause as well, because you were generous enough to come on, and trust me, man, this story is near to my heart. Like I said, in the last 18 months, I've walked through this as well, and it is tough. And if we can help one person, man, if we can help one person, then we've done our job. I think you'd probably agree. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
I really appreciate that, Aaron. That means a lot. It really
Yes,
does.
sir. Hey, well, I'll be watching. I mean,
Yes, sir.
There's no question. Now I get to watch, and I have even more vested interest because 84, I got to watch 84 get some touchdowns. Although it's going to hit my pocketbook, but hey, it's all for a very, very good cause. So I'm appreciative you were on there. So, all right. So we will circle back on that, but let's transition real quick. Let's talk a little football because it is that season, man. You guys got a game.
Yes, sir.
You got a game.
Yep.
Going into Virginia Tech. Ooh, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Yep.
You ready?
Yes, sir. We're ready. We're ready for sure. It's been a long time coming. Ready to get back on the field, and should be an electric atmosphere in Blacksburg on Friday.
No doubt.
With nobody being allowed to go to games last year up there, and that being known for an electric atmosphere. It should be probably double what it normally is.
You bet.
Because people have a lot of pent up.
That's right.
Pent up excitement, I guess.
That's right. I got a lot of faith in Mac Brown, but it begs the question: is the team reading their clippings yet? Because hey, there's a lot of hype around Carolina this year. You guys avoiding reading the clippings about how good you're supposed to be?
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. In the grand scheme of things, they can say what you want, but like Coach Brown talks about all the time, it doesn't mean anything until you actually go out and prove it.
Right.
So yeah, there's been some hype around us. There's also been a lot of question marks about, we've lost, 4 draft picks, 3 of them coming from the offensive side of the ball that produced a lot of offense for us last year. So guys are going to be playing with chips on their shoulders because, we're kind of tired of hearing about that. Yes, we miss those guys. And those are 3 potential starters in the NFL. So it's really hard to replace. But, like I said, guys are tired of hearing about it, and they're ready to go show that they're the next, 3, 4 guys to be picked. Defense looks real solid. I'm excited about them. And, yeah.
I love that answer, by the way. As a fan, I love that answer. That's good stuff, man. And I got a lot of faith in Mac Brown. He's doing amazing things. So, all right, you ready for some rapid fire? Can I ask you a couple of rapid fire questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
How many times have you eaten at Sutton's?
Probably 40.
40. Do you have a picture up at Sutton's?
I used to. I don't know if it's still there. I haven't been there in a while. But
are they going to make it? I thought I heard a rumor that they may close that place.
Yeah, I think they've made it because I think if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. So for all I know, I think they've made it. So that's great because that's a staple in this town and
100%.
Great place, great people that own it and work there. So
100%. And again, we just lost the Columbus, Ohio audience, which is fine because they don't even know what Sutton's is, but we know. You and I know.
Yeah.
All right. So and I've been begging these guys to give me a deal. Even in Columbus, I'm trying to get a deal, a sponsorship deal. Have you purchased anything at Johnny T-shirt?
I have not.
You have not. Come on, man. You gotta say something. All right. Well, we
I
keep
have
Johnny
not. I
T-shirt.
mean, I just. Yeah.
I mean, I have to. I mean, you get enough gear.
Yeah, we get exactly.
All right. Have you been to a Duke Carolina game in basketball?
I have. Yep, I have been to two. Once when I was getting recruited here, and then one probably 2 years ago. And then I also, a buddy of mine, like 3 years ago, got his sister was getting ready to do an internship with ESPN, so they got backstage passes for game day for when Carolina played at Duke. Like I think it was 3, maybe 4 years ago. So I got to sit on the game day desk with and meet Jay Billis and those guys. So that was pretty cool.
Come on, that's pretty,
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. So let me ask you this: what's the record in those games that you went to?
I want to say 1-1.
1-1. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully, we keep stacking up the wins. Like I played on the team or even attended.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite thing about Mac Brown?
Oh God, I don't even know where to start. I just love how he communicates with the players. He tells us everything, whether we want to hear it or whether we, or not. Like he's always talking about COVID. We don't want to hear about that, but it's important. So he tells us. And the best I can explain is like, he's up there and he's older, but he's like, he understands the younger generation and he knows how to appeal to the younger generation. He knows how to talk to the younger generation. Whereas most people his age, I guess, might struggle. He's up to date on all the latest trends. He's up to date.
He's rocking the J's.
Yeah, he's up to date on the shoe game, I guess they call it. So,
right.
But just his ability, and another thing is like, a lot of times the older coaches, they're used to the 2-day practices, the long practices, the ones that are just like, tries to build mental and physical toughness. Coach Brown is one of the few coaches or older coaches that I know of or have seen that, has been able to adapt. I guess is the biggest word for him. He adapts to the latest, sports science technology. So, I mean, we're always doing things with the right purpose. We're never out there for too long. So he's just like a great dude. As long as you work hard, he'll do whatever he can for you. And that's as simple as that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Were you recruited by Fedora? Just out of curiosity, completely unrelated.
Yeah, I was. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about this morning. I was thinking you were probably recruited by Fedora. So,
Yep.
All right. Completely random question. What do you think of Hubert Davis?
So he came out and talked to our team.
He did.
I guess right after he got hired. I don't remember if that was during the summer or the spring. Yeah. But you can tell off the bat, a very intelligent guy. I know Carolina basketball loves to hire, just Carolina dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the definition of that. And, Roy Williams kind of, I think, hand selected him. And, Roy Williams has been great here for so long. So if he's hand selected by Roy, then you're in good shape. And, he seems like a very, when he got hired, I remember seeing, the players being real excited because I think he does the same as Coach Brown. He appeals to them, and just understands how to talk to them and asks for feedback from them and takes that, seriously. So,
yeah,
I think, Carolina basketball is in good hands for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. I think I think people are sleeping on how good Carolina is going to be this year. But
Yeah, he's going to get.
I say that every year.
But
I say that every year. So whatever. But at the end of the day, all right. Last question: have you met Roy Williams?
I have met Roy Williams twice.
Nice.
Once when I went to Carolina basketball camp, and I was in like 5th grade. You know, everybody takes a picture with him, so I met him then.
Nice.
He probably doesn't remember me, but then I met him one day at practice. Still probably doesn't remember me, but he does come to all the football games. Like he comes to every football game, and he sits in his box, and he knows most of the players, most of their numbers, and there's videos of him, like people are trying to talk to him, and he's locked in on the game. So he's a diehard Carolina football fan. A great dude.
Yeah, he really is, and I know he goes to baseball games too. He's a fan across the board, and such a sponsor and supporter of the university. Is Keenan sold out this year for you guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's going to be wild. Is that in your career? Has Keenan ever been sold out for every game?
No.
Yeah.
Last year, I think we were pretty close, but no. No chance.
Yes. Dude, it's going to be awesome. This is going to be a fun year, and so
a lot of night games.
So. It's going to be so good. Are you going to break out black uniforms again at any point?
I don't want to give anything away, but
okay, all right. Don't. Hey, no more.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't want to break any rules. All right, that's fine. We'll leave it at that. So, man, you've been more than gracious, and I'm gonna try not to fanboy it. Like my friend told me, don't fanboy it. So, because we could talk a lot of Carolina, I got a lot of questions, but again, let's bring it back to the very serious topic of why we came on today. And I hope anybody listening really heard that. But let's bring it back one more time. The links again, GE@LAAsports with an S.com. So GE@LAAsports.com. Email that address, and then they will direct you to the page, which is being put up. I think they're working on that right now. So, man, you got a fan of me. I know anybody listens to this, you're going to have a fan in them as well, regardless of whether it's in Columbus territory or not. You have a fan, and man, I appreciate you doing this, and I'm so sorry for your loss. I really am. As soon as this was brought to my attention, obviously the Carolina caught my eye, but the story is really what made it important for me. And man, I'm pulling for you guys, and I am sorry for the loss that you guys have felt as a family and as, like you said, a brotherhood.
Yep. I appreciate that. It means a lot. And like I said, also, if you can't remember the email address and your Instagram users or whatever, you can go to my Instagram page, and Garrett's email is in my bio, so you can see it there if you just forget what it was or can't remember or whatnot. And then also the Rilo Foundation's website. So.
And I'll have all those links. I'll put them in. But for anybody listening, in case they're driving on the road, your Instagram is what?
Garrett_Walston 11.
And that's 2 T's, right? Garrett.
Yes, 2 T's, 2 R's, 2 T's.
2 R's, 2 T's _Walston 11. You said?
Yep. Yes, sir.
On Instagram, and I will have all that stuff in my bio, or in my post for you. So, man, I appreciate you. Good luck this week. Good luck this season. And most importantly, I think good luck as you represent a very important cause to you. And we'll talk again soon. Maybe we can catch up again in season, but because I'd love to see that. But know that from Columbus, we're going to be supporting you too. So every time you cross that touchdown line, man, we got you. We're going to make a contribution to this foundation.
Aaron, I really appreciate that. Means a lot. And I'm sorry, but I hope to cross that end zone line quite a few times this year.
Hey, it cost me a lot of money, man.
Yeah,
seriously,
it's all worth it though. It's all for like we talked about, great cause. So really appreciate you having me on today, and love to talk to you again soon for sure.
Hey, let's do it again soon. Let's talk after the championship game, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. All
right, you got to promise. Actually, if I get you an Unscripted T-shirt, you got to wear it at some point after the championship on ESPN. Can we do that?
Done deal. Done deal. For sure.
All right. Well, you all heard it. So no, I'm just kidding, man. I appreciate you, brother. We will be praying for you this season, praying for health, praying for a great season. And like I said, cross that touchdown line, man. We got you. Okay.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, brother.
Yes,
we'll talk
sir.
soon. Thanks so much.
All right, Aaron. Take care. Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Unscripted Podcast with your host, Aaron Conrad, from his studio at the Junction in Old Hilliard. Make sure to like, share, follow, and review on your favorite podcast platforms. Also, make sure to check out my song Great and Mighty One on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you find your music. We'll see you next time on Unscripted with Aaron Conrad.